Cindy drew first blood this morning. Good morning, sunshine, and thanks for joining us. It is Mellow Monday. Going to try to keep it mellow, but I am going to be talking about Trump addressing the Libertarian Party, so we'll see. We'll see how well I can keep myself under control. Let's do this. Okay, I know that's still a little abrupt because I'm still missing some cables for the soundboard here. And actually, you know what's aggravating is I've got all these cables, and I'm going through this rat's nest of cables from the move, and the one that I'm missing, I've come across like 5 or 6 of them, but I need one that's long enough to make it from the computer over here to the sound mixer, which is over here. But it has to go over here, or there's not enough room for the rest of the control surface for the editing. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, good morning. It's Monday morning. I hope everybody's doing good. I've got the door open at the studio. We're way out in the country, and it's from on my property from where the studio is out to the road is almost 1/8 of a mile. So, and there's plenty of trees between this part of the property and the roadside, and there's almost never any traffic. We get a log truck every now and then. So hopefully I can sit here with the door open like that. Y'all might hear some birds tweet, and I'm pretty okay with that. So, what happened? Well, and y'all bear with me a little bit. I've still got some stuff stacked up on that desk back there. I've got some plans for how I want to do the set decoration in here, but frankly, part of what's holding me up there is I'm using my. Many of you have seen the gun trailer. Well, I'm currently using the gun trailer as a storage shed, and I'm having a hard time getting to things like my light anti-tank weapon, my rifle rack, my Barrett 50 cal, my multiple grenade launcher, and some of the other weapons that I want to put up. I want to put probably some Claymore mines on the wall, a light anti-tank weapon, a very Baroque rifle rack, and of course the Snowball 50 cal, because it is the namesake of my wife's maiden name. little honor to her, a little honor to her family, and the like. Because of course, as many of you know, it's Memorial Day, and one of the many people make the mistake they confuse Memorial Day with Veterans Day. But Memorial Day is not for the veterans; it's for our fallen. So this is the time to remember my grandfathers, right? And things like that. And this is the first time in 3 or 4 years, I think, that I'm actually doing a show on Memorial Day, because usually I'm at the Ride for America at the Loganville American Legion. And for my guys out there, not you, Uncle Steve, you're old as shit. My younger veterans, right? And when I say younger veterans in this context, talking about American Legion stuff, I am talking about guys my age, right? Your 40s, or even in your 50s, right? No shit. The Legion needs some younger blood. And right now, like, as much as I'd love to see some of the mid-20s and early 30s-somethings guys that went in and did a tour or two and got out, while they're still pretty young and healthy and ready to rock and roll, if we could just get some more 40s and 50s and 50-year-olds actively in the Legion. Like my buddy Mike is one of the youngest guys I ever run into at American Legion events, and he's about to be 60. So so my young bucks out there, my young battle buddies out there, y'all need to go do some stuff with the Legion. And just in case, in case you need some incentive, they do have beer. If you're a veteran, go sit your ass down in your local Legion post, have a cold beer, and talk to the boys. Now, I will say that the Legion, I have an opinion of the Legion that is not dissimilar to my opinion of the Republican Party, in that they are an imperfect avatar of what I expect the organization to do. But they do try. And I've talked about trying to do some work, or doing some work with Operation Rally Point, spending some time with those guys, and that's something that's been on, the Operation Rally Point docu-series thing is something that's been on the back burner for a minute, because frankly, I've been busy as a squirrel trying to shed a pineapple, working on this whole move. But now that we've got the move done and we're kind of getting settled in, I hope to be spinning that back up pretty soon. But that's kind of where we're at. So it's Memorial Day, American Legion posts have stuff going on. The Ride for America out of Loganville is a fantastic event, and we need to get some young blood in there, because one of the things that the post does is it is a good resource, not a perfect resource, not even a great resource, but it is one of the better available resources for young veterans who need access to help getting their VA claims filed. There are a lot of guys at the Legion that are very knowledgeable and very helpful with that, and that's a good place to start. And the Legion is connected to groups that do outreach to veteran causes. And that's another great place that you can get involved and continue the fight. Right? I'm not allowed to, despite having taken the oath and still taking it very seriously, quite frankly, under the law, I'm not allowed to kill the enemies of the United States myself anymore, legally. And so we fight the fight where we can fight it, because make no mistake, the fight remains to be fought. So, okay, that was a little heavier than I want to get on a Monday normally. And I'm going to try to keep it light, but I'm going to talk about Trump going to the Libertarian Party. Y'all, this morning, I'm not going to switch cameras. I'm going to stay right here. I'm not going to screw with any articles or anything. I'm just going to talk talk about what happened. So Donald Trump went and spoke to the Libertarian Party, and as I'm sure you can imagine, in the infamous thread, we've been back and forth over this bit. The Legion is. I'm not talking about the American Legion anymore. I'm talking about Legion, the man, the myth, the Legion. Legion is not a fan of the Libertarian Party. Frankly, neither am I. And I think we're both we were both disillusioned by the party because of what we had hoped for them to be. So if you go back, more than a decade ago, almost 20 years now, and you look at the early formation of the Libertarian Party in the United States, or at least the early exposure, most people didn't think of the Libertarian Party as a party. St. Michael asks, "Am I the only one working this morning?" Well, I don't know. I don't know if you're the only one in the thread that's working this morning, but we do have including myself, a disproportionately large number of retirees online this morning. So, yeah. So, yeah, I hate it for you, brother, but, keep up the good fight. Keep on keeping on. Anyway, excuse me. For many of us, forgive me, I've been fighting this congestion for a couple of days, and I'm still trying to get over it. For many of us, our first awareness of the Libertarian Party as a party was the ascent of the Tea Party. And that's not to say that the Tea Party and the Libertarian Party are the same or even necessarily similar, but that was kind of where many of us became aware of the Libertarian Party, and we've kind of internalized a conflation of the two parties. So the Tea Party is basically a one-issue voting bloc. Now, that doesn't mean that all Tea Party members were one-issue voters, but the party itself was about tax reduction, right? Even the name of the party, the Tea Party, is the taxed enough already. It's a cute, clever little acronym, and it's a clever little acronym because it's a clever little acronym, which is also a clever little pun about the Boston Tea Party, obviously. Hey, Rod's joined us this morning, and it's good to see you. And St. Michael, you're in good company there because Rod says he ain't retarded. So, he's just a mean old bald-headed bald man. Rod, I haven't seen you in the chat, Rod, since I set up the new studio and the new property. I need to get you on the phone soon. I may have a little time this morning after the show before I have to go out in the world with the family. Excuse me. But yeah, that first introduction was we thought of the Libertarian Party as being just Republicans with less government. You kind of thought of it as like the Republican Party was the big party, big government, but conservative, and the Libertarian Party was conservative, small government. Right? Liberty, freedom, liberty. The word liberal gets used incorrectly in this country, as does the word conservative. Or to be more correct, the word liberal gets misused. The word conservative gets misunderstood. So outside of the United States, the conservative parties are conservative of the traditions of the nation, which is to say that a conservative party in a country that is historically and traditionally a monarchy is conservative of the monarchy. And the Liberal Party in theory, seeks to break away from the monarchy. And that is how the party dichotomies and the language of the dichotomy works outside of the U.S. Well, that gets a little trickier when you get into the United States, where the thing that a conservative is conservative of in the United States is the abolition of the monarchy, right? We are conservative of the Constitution of the United States, the most liberal, actual liberal, as in liberty, document in the history of governments. A document which does not lay out the power of the government over the people, but lays out the explicit responsibilities of the government and explicitly restricts those authorities which it can exercise to fulfill those responsibilities. So a person who says they're a liberal in the context in the United States of meaning that they are the opposite of a conservative is arguing for a return to something like a monarchy. So the word liberal in the United States means the opposite of what it means everywhere else in the world. What we have learned about the Libertarian Party over the years is that they are not liberty-minded people. They are libertine. And there is a significant difference. Only a scrupulous and religious people can responsibly be free. I'm working on kind of a, not exactly a sketch video. It will be comedic in nature, and I'll spoil it a bit here. But the difference between the Republican Party, the Libertarian Party, and the Democrat Party, you're right. Here's a great example. Like on the issue of abortion, the Republican position on abortion is you shouldn't kill children, don't kill babies, right? The Libertarian position is we don't care if you kill babies. You do what you want to do. You're free. Kill all the babies you want. And then the Democrat position is no, we would prefer that you kill the babies. That's our preference. We'd rather you kill the babies than not. Right? So that's basically how that works. Don't kill babies. Over here on the right, don't kill babies. Over here on the left, please kill babies. And then the libertarian moderate position is, yeah, you can kill them if you want to. We don't care. Do what you do. So that's kind of what you're looking at. So when Donald Trump went to speak to the Libertarian Party, excuse me, I think it was I think his name's Dave Smith came out and spoke as a member of the party, and he addressed the audience and he said, there are basically two groups of people here. There are people here who are members of the Libertarian Party, and there are people here who are Trump supporters. And his message was actually a pretty good one. His message to the libertarians was, Donald Trump understands that he's here to speak to the Libertarian Party. And I'll get to that in just a minute. But he made the point, we are not lefty Democrats. We're not children. We're going to be respectful. And we're going to send the message that we are for free speech, and adults can be in the presence of ideas that they disagree with without melting down. Now, that's the message that he made. That's the sentiment that he expressed and that he asked his fellow party members to express. And they failed miserably at that. They booed him. One of them shouted, "Trump should take a bullet." And they booed him, and they hemmed and hawed, and they cried, and there was a great rending and gnashing of teeth. So the Libertarian Party demonstrated that as anyone should expect, they are not adults. They're not mature, intelligent, thinking political agents. They're children. They're, like my 5-year-old daughter, right? If she doesn't get to sit in the chair she wants to sit in at the dinner table, she will melt down and cry. And I'll tell her, no, you're not doing that at the table. If you're going to do that, you go to your room and you close the door and you cry on your bed until you're done crying. And she will just sit there and continue to cry and refuse to do it. And so you have to pick her up and take her and put her in the room and make it clear to her that no, this will not be tolerated. That's what a libertarian is, right? The thing, you hear somebody say they're a libertarian, and your expectation is that this is somebody who respects the Constitution, has the expectation that your civil liberty should be defended and appreciated. But the Second Amendment is sacrosanct. The First Amendment is sacrosanct. Free speech, right? These guys should be more free speech, more pro free speech than even I am. Because I absolutely am for some censorship. Like, I'm not giving pornography to my children, right? Unlike the public education system, which we have carefully protected our children from, I am not actively giving porno to my children, right? So that's one of the things that keeps me from being a libertarian. I do believe that we have to have a secure border because, among other things, as much as I would like to abolish the welfare state, it's not practically possible at the moment. And as a practical matter, you cannot have a welfare state at all and an open border. You cannot have that practically. We know that because a Big Mac meal is now $10 at McDonald's, and that didn't happen by accident. It happened by careful measure, and it's an attack on you. So the Donald got up there and he made some promises. He promised to free Ross. Now, I'm not super excited about that one. Ross Ulrich he set up a web service called the Silk Road that ran as you had to kind of know the secret password to get into it through the Tor networks, which the Tor networks were used largely for software piracy, into IP piracy, etc. And IP, that's another one of those things that the Libertarian Party is just dead wrong on. The party as a whole would have IP, intellectual property. Essentially, you wouldn't be able to have intellectual property rights. Everybody's free to do whatever they want to do. There are limits, right? If there's no intellectual property, there's no property at all. Right? The abolition of intellectual property is essentially the ascent to communism. So we're clear on that. That's one of those things that keeps me from being with them. But Ross Ulrich, they're all screaming free Ross. And they're all behind this Ulrich guy because the idea with the Silk Road is, this is a place where you can do commerce online and anonymously. And of course, what's that get used for? Okay, it's drugs, it's child pornography, it's all manner of essentially criminal activity. And while I'm not a fan of the state being involved in private transactions, there are some things that I don't want happening, right? Well, for example, if I catch someone selling cocaine to my 13-year-old daughter, Yes, the my daughter and I will be having a very long and complex conversation, and just to make sure that she understands what we're really talking about, we will have most of that conversation while she helps me bury that body. Right? I would prefer the government not be involved in most transactions, but there are some things that, yeah, I'd rather it, like child pornography is a good one. Uh, because with drugs, you're talking about a situation where I'd be fine if all the drugs were legal. I would, because I'm not interested, and I'm raising my children not to be interested. And if somebody else wants to do them, that's fine. That's their choice, right? Not everybody likes to drink. I like an old fashioned by the pool every now and then. I like a Cape Cod on the beach every now and then, right? Not often. I don't drink very much, but if I'd like to have a drink, well, fuck off. I'm gonna have a drink. It's cool. Child pornography, however, that's a different thing because there's no consent happening there. That's not how that works. That's vile and disgusting, and it is the causing of harm. And that's really where the three parties differ. The Republican, in theory, right? I want to caveat this time, and we'll have to have a whole other conversation about this. When I make this claim, I'm talking about the Republican Party and what it stands for in theory, what conservatives stand for generally. I know we have a problem with the big Republican uniparty garbage, which is the majority of our elected leaders at the moment. But take that and understand it this way. What I'm talking about is the theory of what a conservative is, what you guys actually believe in, not what the trash that we've been allowed to vote for represents. Given that, the Republican Party, in theory, should stand for a government which that governs best when it governs least. But to the extent it governs at all, its primary roles include national defense and protecting the rights of the people and defending the people from harm. Excuse me. I'm still fighting this cough, and I'm getting better every day, but hopefully the next couple of days will be a little more a little clearer. So the Republican Party, in theory, should stand for the idea that your rights, you have the right to do anything you want except for to cause harm to another person. You are free up until you cause harm. The libertarian position is you are free even to cause harm. And the Democrat position is you are not free, and we prefer that harm be incurred. The Democrat position is always that they do not want what they say they want unless it causes someone else harm for them to get it. Right? Think about somebody like an Ibram X. Kendi that says it's not enough to not be racist. You must be an activist anti-racist, which is to say that you must be an anti-white. And he's very clear on that, right? And that is the position that the Democrat takes in everything. Excuse me. So Trump, speaking to the Libertarian National Convention, it was a good move. It really was. Because at the end of the day, the Libertarian Party is not taking votes away from the conservatives. The Libertarian Party wants abortion up to and including birth. Libertarian Party wants an open border, right? They're not dedicated enough to the right to keep and bear arms to vote against Democrats on that right, on that basis, because they're so wrapped up in their open borders, their libertine drug policies, and their extremely, their like self-immolating levels of tolerance of depraved sexual degeneracy. And I'm not talking about drag queens doing burlesque shows in public streets. I'm talking about actively supporting the rights of child abusers. We don't need any of that. But as a tactical maneuver, it was a good move for the Donald to go and speak to these guys. And he opened with, like, you guys should nominate me or vote for me. Really, what we want is a lot of you guys to vote for me, because you can vote for me and win, or you can get your little 3% that you get every year and you'll get it again the next time, and you'll always be losers. So you can vote for me and be winners, or you can vote for you and be losers. And there's comedy in it. There's a lot of comedy in how he said it. And of course, they booed and they jeered and they acted like spoiled little shit children. But he's 100% right. The libertarian's choice is to vote for Donald Trump or to lose. So I'm going to put a pin in there, guys, because I'm probably about to have another coughing fit until I get this congestion cleared up. I gotta go find me some drugs for that, maybe. Y'all be safe out there. Thanks for watching this morning. We love you, and we will see you tomorrow.